Oh, hello there. Hello and welcome to the weekly Q&A. My name's Lumin and I'm here to answer a couple of questions. I'm here to take some time off Hearthstone to answer a few questions. That's what I'm doing. And you just caught me editing my list of submitted questions. I may have been fake editing it, but still, I was editing it nonetheless. I was actually doing stuff here, copying and pasting things, rearranging the questions a little. And I'm surprised I'm doing even that with all the Hearthstone I've been playing. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. The game is just so much fun. And I am sort of limiting the amount that I'm playing. I have, for the most part, recorded everything that I've done in-game and put it on YouTube. So I haven't had that much time to myself to just play extra games. I did play a couple of practice games against AI, a couple of unranked games against random people to start leveling the other heroes, because I need to do that if I want to start using them, but whatever. Been having a lot of fun with Hearthstone. It's actually come to the point where Helene is considering giving me BattleNet balance for my birthday, which is next week. Is it next week? I don't even know. So that I can, when the beta comes out in EU, or when the game actually launches, buy myself a couple of card packs. Just because, why not? Man, if I had to open, like, 20 or 40 or whatever card packs, I would just die of happiness. I probably wouldn't make it all the way through the lot of them. I would just pass out halfway. It's so much fun. I mean, I get to open one every like 3 or 4 days. But man, is it worth it? The rest of the people that are doing Hearthstone coverage and streaming it on Twitch and stuff, they are so jaded already. It's like nothing. They just like click, click, click. Oh, this sucks. There's a rare. Only one rare. Where are my legendaries? Or like click, click, click. Oh, golden. Nah, I've seen that card before. Click, 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 click. Oh, this legendary again. They are so over it already. It disgusts me. I savor each and every card that I get. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait till the beta starts in EU so I can at least try, enjoy myself all the way through opening 40 packs. Because it's going to be crazy. Anyway. More on Hearthstone another time. I don't want to spend this entire Q&A just talking about that because we've got some interesting questions here. Some really interesting questions. And some slightly random ones and some slightly shorter ones. So let's get to it. Let's just do it. Tales of Jason Fury. Here's a question for you, Lumin. Can you do a backflip? The answer is probably no, but hey, it's worth a shot. The answer is definitely no. There's no way I can do a backflip. I don't think I can even do a backflip on a trampoline. I don't know. My body just doesn't want me to do stuff like that. Front flip, that's okay. Backflip, no. There's no way. I'm not into that kind of thing. What if I land on my neck or something? You gotta have so much faith in your capabilities as, what, an athlete / acrobat when you're doing stuff like that? I don't have that kind of spine. Isabella Vicente. Hi, Lumen. Here are a couple of questions from her now. Did you have a best friend growing up? Or were all your friends equal? That sounds really bad, but I couldn't think of a better way to word it. That's the perfect way of wording it. And I didn't. I don't think I had a best friend. I had a group of friends, and they were all equal. We were all friends with each other, and that was that. I suppose when I was much younger, I mostly just saw my sister and my parents and family members. So then it was different. I didn't really have that many friends that I saw on a regular basis. But like from primary school and up, then, well, maybe later in primary school and up, then I sort of just had the same group of friends. Most of them have moved on with life now, and I only see 2 of them regularly. One of them actually lives upstairs now, and the other one lives like literally a kilometer away, just down the road. I see him quite often. We play Dota together and all sorts of other stuff. But I didn't have a best friend growing up, no. Is that weird? Is that considered weird? I don't think so. It's possible that I could have had a best friend growing up. Now I've got a best friend. sitting over there. I got a second bestie as well. He's sleeping over here. Now it's different. Have you ever been really badly injured? Like broken bones or anything? No. No, I felt like I was really badly injured earlier today when I kicked a little side table, like a little coffee table stand thing. And I say coffee table stand thing because it wasn't a coffee table, but it was also not just a little stand. It's that little side table that goes next to the couch that you can put your mug of coffee on or your plate or whatever. So I kicked it, and then in kicking it, I moved my toe past it, and then its edge that was like this came down and landed right on my toe, and it was like a thick, heavy edge too, on the very same toe that kicked it. I was badly injured today. So there you go. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I've been in a car accident, and I didn't break any bones. I had a bit of whiplash, but that was it. I don't know. Been kind of fortunate. I suppose you could also call the jaw operation that I had a bad injury, but that was kind of self-inflicted, I guess. Self-inflicted in that I decided to have the operation, not in that I did it to myself. I didn't perform the operation myself. I'm not qualified to do that. Don't be silly. But no, I haven't really had any bad injuries. That's strange as well, isn't it? Wow, this is a strange Q&A thus far. Let's keep going. See if it gets any stranger. When choosing a new game to play for fun and not for a let's play, what do you look at to decide on getting? I look and think to myself, would I enjoy that? That's like basically what it comes down to. I suppose the genre of the game, the type of game does come into play, like first and foremost. If I'm going to play something for myself, then it's got to be something I'd enjoy. And for the most part, I don't enjoy things like racing games. Not as much, at least. There have been really good racing games. I think that most people will agree when I say Need for Speed Underground was super, super cool. Most open world racing games are kind of fun. I had a lot of fun with Burnout Paradise on our PlayStation. But for the most part, racing games, sport games, things like that, I tend to just overlook immediately. I would rather go for something like an RPG or sometimes platformers, maybe a strategy game. So that's the first thing I look at. Then I just look at whether it's fun or not. I do look at reviews and stuff like that because you can get a good idea from those reviews, if you look at a good bunch of them, whether the game would be worth playing or not. But for the most part, it's more just what I think of it, sort of my first impressions after just looking at it. So I don't look for anything specific, but I do take a few things into consideration. That's the best way of saying it. I don't know. I haven't been playing that many games for fun, and I generally like to at least do some form of content on a game that I'm going to be spending a lot of time on. So in Hearthstone's case, for instance, that's a game that I really, really enjoy playing. And because I enjoy playing it so much, I'm always super keen to record videos for it. I'm always super keen to jump in there to try and figure out what I want to do next with it for videos and stuff like that. And I'm just super keen to play it for myself. That's a perfect example. I jumped into that and started enjoying it right from the start because it has so much polish. It feels so complete, yet it's so early on already. And because it's so much fun. It also makes me think. I am so intellectually challenged when playing that game, and I don't mean intellectually challenged in the bad way, more that it challenges me intellectually every single time I play it. It is crazy. It really is. Even if it's a simple game against an AI, there are so many mistakes to make and so many possibilities. It's mind-boggling. It really is. Anyway, did you work before you started your YouTube career? Sorry I missed asking questions for this week's Q&A. Don't worry about missing asking questions. Your questions are always absolutely amazing when they come, and I'm happy to see them this time. Now, I did work for a little bit. I actually answered this either last week or the week before it. I'm not sure. in one of the two, so I'll keep it slightly brief. If you want to see the proper answer to the question, then I guess you could just go back and check that out. But I think the only proper job I've ever really had was for my father, which only lasted a couple of months anyway. Before that, it was studying, lazing around, slacking, and then school before that. So there you go. That's the quick and dirty version of the answer to that question. Next, Robname. I know I'm not supposed to be saying it like that, but I can't help myself. I understand that you've known Helene quite a while, and you played World of Warcraft together. I was wondering if she was this much into games from the start of your relationship. He said camaraderie here, but I chose to use the word relationship instead. Also, wait, let's stop first and answer that. She was into games when I met her. I actually met her at a LAN for the first time. She was there to play games, to copy stuff, and to do, straight up geeky or nerdy things. I don't even know the difference between geeky and nerdy, and I don't care. I honestly don't care. I'm just using those words because they're the ones that came to mind first. So let's not get into that. Geeks and nerds. She was very much into playing games when I met her. I don't know what she was playing at the time. I think she was playing Counter-Strike at the LAN for the most part, which is kind of weird. I was playing a lot of Counter-Strike there too. I think at that specific LAN I was probably playing more Warcraft 3, because I used to go to those LANs for the Warcraft 3 tournaments or competitions and stuff. Did reasonably well. I think we won that one a couple of times, which was great. We won the 2v2 competition, and I can't even remember if there was a 1v1 competition. I don't know, but that was a lot of fun. She was definitely into games. I don't know if World of Warcraft started before or after. That was a while ago. I'm thinking she started playing World of Warcraft while she was with me. But I can't be sure. I really can't. No, she must have started before she met me. Man, it's a bit fuzzy up here. It's a long time ago, okay? We've been together for like 6 or 7 years already. 7? Must be 7 by now. So it's crazy. It's crazy trying to think back to when we met. Although I remember exactly how she looked sitting there at the LAN. That first day that I saw her and instantly fell in love. I remember. I do. Also, what would be your opinion or the way to do it on wanting to make people that aren't gamers, aka clubbers or girls that you know or your parents, see the beauty and fun in games and maybe even start enjoying complex ones like MMOs? I don't know if there's a good way about doing that, because in some cases it's probably not a good thing doing it. Getting people that aren't gamers, and gamer in general as a word is just terrible. It's not a word we should be using, but whatever. Not going to get into that now, but in most cases, if they want to be interested in it, they'll show interest in it. By they, I mean the lot of them. But if you really want to introduce, say your parents, for instance, and this is something that I can talk about with ease because it's something we did recently. If you want to introduce your parents to gaming, then you can choose something slightly more simple to show them, to get them interested in, because they will be interested in it, okay? Something like a Wii with the cool sports games. We got that for my dad for his birthday. It was like a group effort, the family, myself, my sister, and my mother, and we had such a blast. I enjoyed it. He definitely enjoyed it. I think I mentioned in my vlog a little while ago, he was keeping me awake. It was like 12 o'clock already, and he was just like, okay, one more game. I think I can do better in this round of archery. And he did. He got a whole lot better. From when he started playing, he was like getting confused between which hand moves what and where to go and what to do with them. And then by the end of the evening, he was like trying to get those pot shots on the long range targets, and he was having a blast doing it. But then with different people, it depends on their interests. So not everyone would have easily been funneled into it like him, because he was loving the sports games, the archery, the table tennis, what else was there? I don't even know. The golf. We had a lot of fun with golf as well. So that was easy for us to get him into that. But, for other people, like if you've got a girlfriend or whatever, choose something slightly more simple. If you've got a girlfriend that's already more susceptible to something like that, something like Hearthstone would be a great place to start. Maybe a slightly more fun MMO. I don't know, there are fun MMOs out there. You could take something like Guild Wars, for instance, where character customization is a really big part of the game, where modifying your character's appearance is a really fun part of the game. That's a great place to start. But I just think that you shouldn't go out of your way to try and convert someone if they're not interested in it, because it's not for everyone. But if they do show interest, there are a lot of slightly more casual games out there that you could try that could potentially get them gripped, get them wanting more. I don't know. I'm not good at this kind of thing because the people that I hang around with, or the people that I've been hanging around with most of my life, now the ones that aren't family, because my family, they are straight talkers, and like they understand what's going on with games and gaming. But for instance, my sister, she wouldn't go out of her way to be interested in something. She plays PlayStation with her husband. They have a lot of fun with that, but you're not going to convert her. She's not the kind of person who would have been susceptible to be any sort of converting. Not going to happen. She's strong-willed like that. I'm sure you guys know people that would also not be able to fall prey to your charms. But whatever. So I would say rather just see if they even want to do something like that, and then maybe just get them interested. You know, with a girlfriend or something, you could always offer to play like a scary game with her. I mean, Helene, for instance, she's already a gamer, she plays games, whatever, but she would any day of the week come sit with me here and play through a game like Amnesia with me, just because it's fun. It's fun doing scary stuff like that, and that could be another gateway. And maybe your girlfriend likes scary movies. Tell her, well, this is much better than a movie, and it's interactive. Go for that. Anyway, next question. The actual Vimple. My question to you, if you had to choose one game or franchise, universe, of which you've gotten the most immersed in, or come to like the most, it could be anything from the characters, to the lore, to the environment, or even the music, or the overall feel, which would it be? This has to be a game originally, so nothing based on books or movies. I think I would choose the original BioShock. How about you? That's what Vimple said, not what I said. I would choose the Ultima series. Obviously, because I used to live for those games. I played them so much. And what I like about them is that there's some realism in how the world works, in how everything in it works. But then there's also the rest of it. There's the magic, the mythical creatures, and everything else. So it ends up being very believable, a world that you could see yourself in, being in, living in, being part of. But at the same time, it does have that fantasy element to it. That difference. That extra bit of something that makes it not like real life. I like it. So it's not too different. It's not too completely crazy. But at the same time, it's got enough to it to make it super interesting and to make it a world that you'd want to be in. So I'd say the world of Britannia from the Ultima series would be one that I would choose as my favorite. Man, just thinking about it. I can't wait till I figure out a good way of recording Ultima 7. Maybe some of the others, because that's going to be a lot of fun. Then, Mulder22, Lumin, what are your opinions on the speed and the amount of new Guild Wars 2 content coming out? This is probably the first game in my entire life where I'm hearing people saying that they should slow down a bit. It is. I mean, I also haven't heard that before, especially not with an MMO or something like that, where the players are saying, listen here, we can't keep up. Or we don't want to keep up with this crazy pace that you set in. But there's more. Mostly in other games, the situation is completely different because people want more. I don't play Guild Wars myself, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to cope with that big amount of new content. I'm not coping at the moment. Okay, I think I'm at the point right now where I'm going to stop completely worrying about the achievements for the living story stuff. Just because I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to spend time on, that I really want to spend time on. And when I do log into Guild Wars, I'll play a bit of it, probably enjoy a bit of it, and that's that. I'm not going to grind my way through 13 of the invasions in that new Living Story update. Clockwork Chaos, it's called. You need to go to 13 different zones and complete invasions in them. And it seems like they repeat a lot of the zones. So Helene, for instance, who plays a reasonable amount of Guild Wars, she's played a bit less recently, but she is probably not even halfway at the moment. Because the zones keep repeating, so they have like, well, Gendoran Fields, then again Gendoran Fields, then one other one, then you go and get that one, because you've already got Gendoran Fields, now you've got those two, then they jump back to Gendoran Fields and have another invasion there. Now I suppose it's going to work in that way all the way through, so they're going to have, say, these 3 that cycle through, then 2 days later they'll have these 3 that cycle through, 2 days later those 3, but it's still a grind. It's a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time to get all those achievements, and that's the one thing that I don't like about it, is because I want the achievements, I want to do them, I want to say that I was part of this event, I want to be able to say that I was there doing it with everyone else, but I don't want to spend that much time to be able to get that on my account, to be able to have that proof, to be able to get the rewards for it. I do think it's a good thing that they are as crazy zealous as they are with getting the content out, that they are so dedicated to making this one update every 2 weeks work, because they are doing it. They're getting a lot of content out. I mean, I'm happy with that, but at the same time, I also think that they need to take a step back and look at their game and look at what's going on in the greater scheme of things, how the game is performing, which bigger aspects of it, more used aspects, need either complete overhauls or a bit of tinkering. Basically, they need to work on the core game, Guild Wars 2 itself, a little bit more than they are right now. That's what I've said before, and that's what I'll stick with. I do like the content. I would have preferred if they would slow it down a little bit, maybe once a month. I mean, that's okay with me. They can have like once a month a proper big Living Story update, and then maybe have it progress through different phases or something like that throughout the month. I don't know. But just spread it out a little bit more, give people a little bit more time to appreciate what's going on, to actually immerse themselves in all that's happening in the world of Tyria, and just enjoy it more. That's what I'd prefer. But, you know, they've decided to do this. And if they do it if they had gone for once a month, they could perhaps put more people on their expansion team or their bigger updates team, or on working on the core game. So I don't know. Overall, I think it's good, and I think a lot of people are enjoying it the way it is. But these are the hardcore players, and the funny thing is the hardcore players are the more vocal players. So ArenaNet is hearing a lot of, or getting a lot of positive feedback for the speed of the content updates, and I suppose they really taking that to heart and just keeping it up. Where the casual gamers are probably not doing all of this, not grinding their way through all of it, and I would say some of them are probably just oblivious to the fact that the Living Story updates are even happening, for the most part at least, even though they pop up in your UI and tell you that it's going on. You know, I'm at the point where when I log in, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to have to go and take part in these Living Story things, so I would consider myself a very casual player, and, well, my opinion is just that it's good, but it's bad at the same time. We'll see. It feels like they might burn out if they keep going this fast as well. I don't know. You guys can feel free to let me know what you think about them. I'm always interested in that, because on Reddit you get a lot of mixed signals. A lot of people are saying that they love the content, that this Clockwork Chaos, for instance, is the most fun they've had in ages. But then there are the others that say, well, you know, your game is broken fundamentally, fix it before you keep updating it with content. I don't know. Next question. Raw Salmon 75. I know this has probably been answered in a previous Q&A, but will you be playing more World vs. World and other things with the guild and everything else on Guild Wars 2? Good question, and I put that right next to the other Guild Wars 2 one, so I could just answer it while I'm stuck on that subject. I wanted to do more of that, but in the last couple of weeks, I've just been so busy with other stuff, and I haven't even had time to play myself. And like I said, I'm not even getting time to do all the achievements I wanted to do. I mean, I would have asked Helene to do them for me, but she's already got so much that she has to do herself, and then so many real life obligations that she has to get to, that doing double grind would just be too much. She's actively trying to play a little bit less Guild Wars, and then they go and drop this Clockwork Chaos bomb on her, which kind of slows that whole idea down a little bit. But I suppose at the end of the day, I'm not even getting time to play myself. So the chances are that I will be doing something again, but I can't tell you right now when. I don't know. I really don't. And I feel kind of bad that I'm not getting around to doing it. Because I want to do that. I want to play more Dota games with you guys, because I've had a lot of fun playing Dota games with some of you. And then I want to still do all the other stuff that I'm doing. Like, I want to be able to get to a point where I can say I'm good at Hearthstone. I understand the game. But that would actually require a bit more play. A bit more attention from my part. And, well, that's that. I'm just so busy with everything that I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do it. Next question. Zenith101088. Any plans on doing a Let's Play? And all of these, the next couple of questions are going to be sort of quick fire questions where it's people asking, will you play this? Will you do that? So let's just go through them as quick as we can, because there's no reason to, talk about them for too long. Here's something, one of them that's not quite the same as the others, but are you planning on doing a Let's Play or something similar with other YouTubers? I figured it would be a great way for you to build up a bigger subscriber base, and I know it worked well for folks like TB, Jesse, and the Yogscast. So, I'm going to be starting, hopefully soon, trying to challenge other YouTubers to games of Hearthstone. And the reason I'm choosing Hearthstone is because it is the one game, at the moment at least, that's kind of being universally played. Force is playing it, Total Biscuit's playing it, Krendor's playing it, the Yogscast are playing it. Everyone is playing it. Jesse's playing it as well. They're all playing it. So we have the common ground there. If they have a Polaris tournament for Hearthstone, I will be so happy if I can get into that. I hope that I get into it. I don't know how many other Polaris members are playing, but they need a good bunch. So the chances are good that I would get in there. I'm just hoping I'd be able to do well enough, put on a good enough show when I do actually get in there. So I'm going to have to practice. But that said, it looks like Hearthstone is going to be the game for me. And I will start trying to get stuff done with other people very, very soon. I want to. And that's been the one thing that I've procrastinated on for the longest in my YouTube career. I haven't done much stuff with other people. I am, however, going to get to it. You have my word. Very soon. I am also, and it's not entirely related to this, but I'm also going to try and do some more stuff with Helene. And in the next channel update, I'm going to sort of pose that question. So you could tell me right now what you think of it, but what would you think of us playing a game in the same way that we played it during the Spelunky Extras? Because I'm sure most of you have seen that, where it's much more casual, much less me from me. So me being less excessive, less crazy, less loud, and just playing a game with her. Having fun, obviously talking to each other about the game, about various other things, whatever. Obviously, it depends on what game I'm playing, the type of commentary you're going to do, but there are a couple that we have in mind, and that's something I'm considering as well. So it's not doing something with the other YouTuber, but it is something that I feel like you guys would enjoy, and it's a nice change in pace from the content that I'm putting out right now. That's the reason I'm considering it. That's also the reason I want to do stuff with other YouTubers, because it is different from what I'm doing now. Then, Jessica and her cats ask, will you play the new Amnesia? So Jessica and her cats are using the nickname Sen5X. That could be said Sensex. I'm not sure. But I will be playing the new Amnesia. Jessica. Cats. I will. Not sure how much of it, to what capacity I'll be covering it on the channel, but I had a blast with Amnesia, the original, and The Dark Descent, whatever, and I honestly think that is probably one of the games that I could potentially do with Helene as well, but I honestly think that that's the kind of thing that you guys would enjoy regardless, because, man, that game is crazy. I haven't even seen much of the new one, which is called Machine for Pigs, but I can tell you right now, if it's the same people making it, if they're going with the same formula that made the first Amnesia as crazy and scary as it was, then it'll be well worth having a look at. So yes, I will be playing the new Amnesia. I miss my real account. When will you be playing... When/will you be playing the new Dishonored DLC? So, I've also been trying to find a gap to do that. But, again, it's just been Hearthstone that put a spanner in the works in pretty much everything's works. So I'm not sure. Maybe next weekend I'll find a gap, or sometime in this week I'll find a day when I've got less to do, and then I'll sit down and play like an hour or two of it. Because I said before I wanted to finish it in 1 or 2 sit-ins at most. So like a couple of sit-ins. So maybe a day comes along where I've got a lot of energy. I'm ready for a good bunch of commentary for like a long period of talking. And then I'll just sit down and do it. Because I want to play it for myself. And if I'm going to play it for myself, I could just as well record it. Because why not? So we'll see. The chances are you guys will be getting longer videos then. So like 40 minutes to an hour. I mean, I could split them up more, but that makes it more effort editing and putting them together. And I want to say uploading as well, because it's such a mish doing the annotations and stuff, so I'd rather keep them to slightly less. And it's such a mish doing the annotations because they're broken at the moment and YouTube just refuses to fix them. So I might just put them in longer videos and get them up quickish. Sure, it'll take a bit longer to upload, but I could just shove some Hearthstone or some other easier to create content in there as well to fill the gaps up. But I will play it. When? I'm not sure. Fungal Decay. Do you have any plans to try out Might and Magic 10 Legacy? Or Might and Magic X? I think it's 10. It's like a big budget Legend of Grimrock in the Might and Magic setting. I saw that and I was instantly attracted to it, but I don't know if I want to get into another series like that. So if I do happen upon it at some point, if I do get it for myself at some point to try and, play a little bit, spend a bit of time in, then you'll probably see an adventure worthy. But right now, I don't see myself doing a series on it. And in terms of adventure worthies, man, I'm about to talk about them for the next question, actually. But I've got so many that I need to do. Saints Row, the 4. I was going to say the 3rd. Saints Row 4 being 1. We tried to play Saints Row cooperatively, but it seems like the press build that I got for the game doesn't work correctly with the normal build of the game, so we can't co-op between the two or with the two, which kind of sucks. So you're probably not going to see a cooperative video of that. But I want to have a look at and show you guys a bit of Saints Row after I've played a bit of it myself. So I'm going to get to that first. I've got Gone Home on my desktop, which I want to have a look at, and a couple of other things which I'll get to on the next question. Trevor Sherwood, hi Lumin. My question this week is, you said we were going to do something with Ragnarok Online 2, and I was just wondering if you have a time frame on when doing this would happen. It was some... Hold on, I'm not sure what he's saying here, but I did play a bit of it. Hold on. And you take a step back and look at this question in its entirety. I was just wondering if you have had the time frame on when you're doing this, as it was something I did play a bit of, and same as Ragnarok Online 1? I'm not sure what that question is, but I can tell you that it's not the same as Ragnarok Online 1. It feels completely different, sadly, in a bad way, in a really bad way, and I also get the feeling that this adventure with is not going to be the most positive one that I've ever done. Because I didn't have that great a time in Ragnarok Online 2. But because of that, I'd still like to share it to tell you guys what my thoughts and impressions of the game are, because there's a lot that I have to say about it. There really is. And because I spent a decent amount of time in Ragnarok Online 1, I obviously compared it to that immediately, and I'd say, long story short, compared to Ragnarok 1, it's kind of lacking. It really is. In every single aspect you would consider in an MMO. But there you go. I'll get to it soon. Time frame within the next 2 weeks. That's so bad. Maybe this week, but within the next 2 weeks. I want to do that and some of the other MMOs I have. And then the last question is Crudian or Crudine. Hello Lumin, will you be playing Payday 2 at any point? I don't think so. That's not a game that I've ever really been interested in. I don't know if it's any good or not. Once again, maybe if I do happen upon it, if I do pick it up in a sale or something, I'll give it a peek, but not anytime soon. Because I do have a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to look at and get to before that. So, not anytime soon, mainly because I just don't have that much of an interest in it. But there you go. That is sadly going to be it for this Q&A. I am, from now, and from the previous Q&A already, just filtering out some of the questions we've had many, many times before and trying to keep them a little bit shorter, like not an hour and 10 minutes every time. So this is what happens when I do that. We keep it below 40 minutes, and that's great. That's fine by me. Means I can upload it a little bit quicker. Means I don't have to sit here for too long talking. I can go to bed at a reasonable hour. But that's that. If you have any questions about absolutely anything, feel free to leave them below. There will be a channel update this week sometime, so if it's something relating to the channel that you think would rather belong on that, you could save it for that. But check back soon for more, most importantly though. Happy leaving those questions. Happy that.